My beautiful goddess. She, she is so stunningly beautiful. It's not even funny. Like sometimes
I
I look
agree.
at you on your videos and I'm just like, you just have that look about you. Just
She's such a beauty.
well, the dark hair and the dark eyes, and
she has so many man fans. It's unbelievable. Like she's really in another class, like in a class of her own.
Man fans.
Stop. I'm literally getting embarrassed, and I don't usually get embarrassed, but thank you.
That's okay. That's okay.
I've recently been channeling Venus, which has been extraordinary.
I saw that.
And she is an energy unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. She's like, I've always said that Magdalene, I did a year of channeling Mary Magdalene, and channeling her, like I had never experienced so much love in my life. But Venus comes in, and Venus is like we're all of her, like of that whole goddess realm. Anyway, so
that's funny that I just called you a goddess.
Right. Exactly.
Well, there's no coincidences there.
So I know that we have a few more people that signed up, but I just want to welcome you all. Kathy is someone that is unbelievably dear to me, and we just had this instant connection. We knew that we were friends forever, but we had a really extraordinary experience together. Hi, Kim. Welcome, my love. Hey, Alex. So good to see you. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Priyanka. Hey, Orlando. Hi, Hannah.
Hello.
So one of the things that I teach is how to read the Akashic Records. And Kathy came to class one day, and there were only 2 students. It was almost like a private. And there's a portion when I teach everyone how to read the records where I have people go into the records to have an experience. And the first time I went in, they terrified me.
I just got the chills.
I know. I
just get wicked chills just even remembering.
I love this story. So Kathy goes in, and I give everybody 15 minutes to kind of have their experience of the records. And the first time I went in, they were like jumping up and down, and they were screaming at me, and I was terrified. Kathy goes in, and everybody's camera's muted, and I just watch her with like tears streaming down her face, and I'm thinking to myself, this is either really good or this is really bad. And everybody comes back, and time to share. And it was another friend of mine named Karen. And I said, Kathy, how was that? And what she said just blew my mind. She said, other than the birth of my son and the birth of my daughter, I have never had a more powerful and profound experience. And I was like, oh my God, she gets it. So Kathy, I don't know if you know, Kathy is an incredible psychic and a medium, and she reads the tarot like you've never had a tarot reading in your life. And we were introduced by a mutual friend, and the mutual friend and I went our separate ways, and I kept Kathy in the divorce.
That's a good way to put it.
Right. So, and I'm, I think I know most of you, or you know me, and I'm a psychic and medium and a channel, full body trance channel. And I'm a teacher and healer and a mentor is what I call myself. And one of the things that I did is I spent a lot of time learning about the masculine and feminine dynamics. And Kathy approached me and she said, why don't, we do something together? And I said, let's talk about relationships, because she understands relationships from her understanding of the tarot that's just extraordinary. And I have, another body of wisdom. So what we're going to be bringing forth in this workshop that we're doing on the 24th, we're calling it Attracting Magical Relationships. So my credibility is, I've had 17 marriage proposals. Probably there's another one that's coming because there's someone that's shown up and he's pretty smitten. And I have learned five engagements, 1 marriage and 1 divorce. I have learned how to negotiate the incredible dynamics between a man and a woman. And Orlando, thank you for being here and representing, all men in the world. Yay. There are different phases that women go through. There's a phase of where she is the maiden or the princess. There is where she steps into kind of being the goddess or the queen. And then she steps into a phase of her life that I call crone. And crone is where her wisdom starts to come forth. So I know that I'm in that period of my life where I've kind of been through all of the hormonal histrionics that we go through. And now what I'm sharing is the wisdom that I've garnered in my life. And Kathy has that same extraordinary wisdom. So what we're going to present to everybody is really, the wisdom of, this is what I this is what I did. These are some of the mistakes I made. It's that beautiful story of, I walked down a street and there was a hole and I fell into it, got out of the hole. Next time I walked down the street, walked around the hole, and the next time I didn't walk down that street. So, we're going to share with you what we've learned, what we know about people, what we know about how relationships work. There's definitely like do's and don'ts. There's things that work for women, there's things that work for men, and there are things that don't. And so we're going to give you those guidelines in this, brilliant 2-hour journey with us. So I'm really, really excited about that. Kath, what do you want to say about it, my love?
First of all, I have mutual love for Lynn. In my experience, I have experienced amazing things as a psychic medium, as a professional for 10 years. And Lynn brought me to another level, and we're always growing. We're always learning. And she blew my mind. I didn't think my mind could be blown. And she blew my mind. And it was a surreal, profound experience. And it really pushes me. She pushes me. And it's,
Push everybody, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Personal.
Yeah. When this is what you do for work. And I don't refer to it as work. I refer to it as my calling, because I literally gave up my life to pursue my spiritual business and my spiritual journey. We have to push ourselves. We have to learn, we have to grow. And I have been concentrating on relationship work as a professional life coach and love coach for 10 years.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. How lucky are they?
And
I'm just live streaming on Facebook. I'm so sorry. Priyanka said we're live, and I thought you meant, Priyanka, that you went live on Facebook. So that whole that's okay. I'm just going to bring us live, but I'm listening. Kathy, sorry for the introduction. Baby.
So yes, I'm a medium, and yes, I connect to lost loved ones, and that's part of who I am and what I do. But my gift is so much broader, because not everybody wants to talk to their lost loved ones all the time. That's the reality. The reality is, what's going on in my life, in my present, and what am I healing? What do I need to know? And what is coming into my life? And how do I bring things into my life? So I spend a lot of time on energy. What is our energy? What is our vibration? How do we raise our vibration? How do we attract love into our life? How do we love ourselves? Why don't we have love? And yes, I use tarot as a guide because it is a tool. It's like anything else, but things jump out at me intuitively, and then I listen to the voice that comes into me. And we're all guided through this incredible journey, this ebb and flow of love and life, right? And what jumps out at us are these life lessons. And that's where the magic happens. The magic is in the in-between. The magic is in, I ended a relationship, and I hope I get another one someday. My hand is tingled. And Spirit's like, yes, the magic is the in-between. Where the magic happens. The magic is in the in-between. I just got a double voice.
I know, I just went live on Facebook. We're muted.
Okay. So I'm hearing my voice. I'm like, that's so weird. Somebody's saying exactly what I just said. But the magic is in the in-between, and the in-between is the guts. The in-between is who the hell am I? And what is going to happen next in my life? And it's this fear, and it's this revelation, and it's this tears, happiness, joy, throwing up. It's everything that happens to us when we're in the in-between. And that's what I focus on, because the in-between, we can't be anything to anybody else until we love the in-between, until we're okay.
It has to start with us. I'm a huge fan of Jesus, and I happen to channel him and a few of his friends and a few of his family. And one of the things that he's always said is that we need to go within, and the journey of love and the journey of attraction, we vibrate a certain frequency. Everything in the universe is made of energy. Where we attract others is where we are. So if you look around and you're like, why do I keep attracting this person? Because there's some aspect of you that exists in that person. It's all magnets and mirrors. People are a reflection of us and they're magnetized to us. So if you want to attract magical relationships, you have to find your inner magic. You have to find your inner love. And there are certain rules. There are things that work for men and that don't. And there are certain things that work for women and that don't. And I think that a lot of people don't know what those are. And I was very blessed at a young age to come across a man named Vic Barranca, and his body of work was called More University. And it was the man-woman course and a whole bunch of other courses that he had. And then there was a woman named Regina Tomahauser. I don't know if any of you are familiar with her work. She wrote an incredible book called A User's Guide to Men. And she wrote another book that's called Pussy, that's extraordinary, about a woman reclaiming her power. And she went to Vic and she asked Vic for permission to teach his materials. And I had done the same thing with Vic back in Hawaii, long time ago when I was there. And so I'm bringing, that body of work. And I just think you guys are going to be in for quite a journey to understanding how relationships work, why they work, about going within to take a look at how you feel about yourself, because how you feel about yourself is reflected in every single relationship that you have. The relationship that you have with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, with your clients, with your, kids, all of the different communities that you're involved in. And so we're going to do a deep dive into that.
Lynn, I love when you said because I get asked, I wish I had $1 for every time somebody said to me, I keep attracting the wrong guys. Or no, I take that back. They don't even realize they're attracting them. I keep meeting the wrong guys. Okay. I keep starting to date the wrong guys. I start, relationships with the wrong people. And I'm like, do you think that there's like a pattern of behavior going on here? Like, has it dawned on you that you're bringing into somebody's energy how you feel about yourself? And like this light bulb goes off into people and they're just like, I never thought of it that way. Because I always refer to finding our soulmate or finding the person that we want to share our life with as, just remember, they're looking for you. Because everybody puts themselves into their me ego, and they think, I've got to go out and I've got to find this person. And if you can reverse that just slightly, it's a simple exercise in your head that there's somebody out there, a soul that has already been predestined and attached to you, and maybe you shared past lifetimes together, that my whole body just chilled, that they're looking for you. And people are like, oh, they're looking for me. What do you mean? I'm like, yes, it's not one-sided.
My Kabbalah teacher, when I knew him back in Los Angeles, 2008, he was dating a girl. And he said, I said, it's a possibility she is your twin flame. And he said, what makes you think that? And I said, you're both born with the same card of destiny. They were both the Ace of Spades. Well, they didn't end up lasting. She ended up marrying somebody else. But then he met this woman who lived in New York and he lived in Los Angeles. They were born on the same day, 3 hours apart. So basically at the same time because of the 3-hour time difference. And she ended up moving across the country to be with him. And they now have like 4 extraordinary children together. And
absolutely.
And there is a soul that was meant for you to do this journey of life with. And if you feel like the wrong person is showing up, you've got to go inside, because somewhere you feel like you're not the right person. When you do healing, I have someone that I work with, and recently she did a bunch of healing with me through some classes. And then all of a sudden an old love showed up in her life, and she's having this incredible relationship. And it's just, it's amazing. Like when a problem shows up in a relationship, you can't, I call it trying to brush the hair in the mirror. You can't go, well, this person needs to change this and this person needs to change this. Because it's literally like you're taking the hairbrush and going, well, you need to fix this and you need to fix that. No, you need to take your hairbrush. You need to heal yourself. You need to clean your own house for what's going on, because that's what gets reflected in all of our relationships. So there's an order of priority for women. and it's called Sex, Food, and Baubles. And that means sex doesn't mean like, having sex 24 hours a day. Men have a physical imperative and a drive for sexuality that women don't have, but the place where men have sex is with women. So sex for a woman, though, is the intimacy, it's the attention. It's, a woman's greatest wound is in her attractiveness, and for man, it's his ability to produce. So if you want to wound someone, you tell them how crappy they are. If it's a man, you tell him how crappy he is. If you want to wound a woman, you wound her in her attractiveness. But if you want to bolster someone up, and if you want to build that relationship, for a man to make a simple comment about how beautiful a woman is, it's like, I don't know about you girls, but when someone tells me that I'm beautiful or that I'm gorgeous or that I'm whatever, I'm having a good hair day, it makes me swoon on the inside, It just
You're
does.
all gorgeous. You're all beautiful.
Smart man, very smart man, very smart man. So there one. Do you know what the hardest day of the year for any man is?
Valentine's Day.
Because of the expectations that women project onto them. And the quickest way to kill a relationship with a man is to foist or to, throw expectations on him that he can't reach, like all of your complaints and criticisms about you should do this and you should do that and you're not doing this and you're not doing that. How is anything going to flourish and grow in that environment? So you have to fall in love with yourself so that you can fall in love, have others fall in love with you. When I've just been so like high and happy and things have been beautiful, and then this very peculiar person showed up in my life, and it's this journey of a like this crazy journey, and I'm like, wait, but this doesn't make any sense. And Spirit's like, but it was brought to you this way, fraught with all the potential difficulties because of everything your ego needs to get past. So much of ourselves, we bring our ego to our relationship.
Can we talk about that just for a second, Lynn? Because I have the blessing to work with all ranges of women primarily. And they all have in their mind this perfect man. Okay, I want them to be this, 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 and this. And they have like this big checklist. And I just kind of laugh sometimes and say, well, why are your expectations so high? And I don't think that they should be with a loser. That's not what I'm saying. But they think that there's some perfect person out there, and that perfect person is going to make them happy. And they're in search for this. So when they don't find this perfect person, he doesn't have the right job. He's not making enough money. He was divorced before, and I want somebody that's never been married. He has a child out of wedlock, and I want somebody that's never had a child before. Like there's all these parameters to the point where when God or Spirit actually puts an energy in front of you that is a perfect match for you, that you put these boundaries around it, and you don't even allow it an opportunity to flourish or grow or bloom. And it's like they are saying no to what Spirit puts in front of them over and over again.
Exactly. And who controls a relationship? And this may be an eye opener for all of you, but literally who controls a relationship is the woman. And we have not been raised in a society where that has been the case, but it is absolutely the truth. And there are a lot of people that are looking, thinking the man is the one who decides. I promise you, when you get down to it, you will discover the power that you have as women. And I do need to tell you that men are the single greatest gift that any of us have, because they provide for us and they protect us and they proclaim us to the world, and they take us in like we are their own. And there's another aspect of relationships where there's a kind of a sisterhood wound where you'll see the same woman go after men and things like that. That's another dynamic that really needs to get healed, because there's more than enough for everybody. Honestly, do you guys have any questions? Like, what do you want to know? What would draw you to a class like this?
I think I was drawn to it. Can you hear me okay? Is my audio okay?
Yeah.
Just because in my life, I'm 57 and I've been married 3 times, and I understand the in-between time concept, especially as I've gotten older, to take advantage of that, to grow and learn to love yourself. And my last in-between time was where I really became much stronger in loving myself enough and knowing how to like make myself happy and stay present and have fun and look at flowers and just be happy, so that I didn't need a man to do that for me or like to fulfill that role.
Right.
And so that was like a huge lesson. And I am in a relationship now with someone who's sitting across the table from me listening also. I was like, come here, it's a relationship. And we feel like it, he's laughing. We feel like it is very magical. And I'm hoping we can make this our lifelong partnership. So
Beautiful.
I was intrigued, for the messaging, just to see, how are we faring in this? Because right now it's been about a year and we are like, very close best friends, like very calm.
Beautiful.
It's just nice. We don't really fight. It's just, we like to do the same things. It's easy. It
Yeah.
feels easy. So I do feel like
If
God
you
swapped
listen
them
to
in
my
front of me.
if you ever listen to my readings, Kim, I do a lot of recorded readings on YouTube with tarot cards. And the number one thing Spirit says to me over and over and over again about a good connection is that it's easy. That is the word Spirit uses probably the most often with me. And I'm like, give me a more sophisticated word. But, that's what it is. You're compatible. And I love that you feel like you found your best friend. So I do feel like you are with the person you're supposed to be with. And it's been a long journey. And I'm looking at the painting behind you, because the painting behind you has this incredible movement. And it has movement because it was, it's a starry night, right? And it's movement with the universe is moving. My life is always in movement. My heart is in movement. My energy is in movement. And you have found somebody that you're moving together with. And that's the most important thing. So I do feel like I feel like you learned a lot of life lessons in those past relationships.
Yeah.
But you know what? Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own journey. And if what Spirit wants for you, 222 on the clock for you, Kim. If you take
I
a
love
moment,
that. Yep.
I'm going to let Lynn talk, because I want to pull that angel number for you, because that might be a message. So let me pull that card just while we're talking. Go ahead, Lynn. I just got off track with the 222. Oh my God, it's at the top of my deck. Are you kidding me? 222, I am balanced. Let me just read this. Trust that the seeds of your thoughts are growing as you are nourishing them with words, feelings, and actions.
That's awesome. And the last thing I was going to say, is it doesn't mean that we haven't had challenges. Like we've had people, like past people in his life and things that I was dealing with and stuff, some baggage. We both have had some baggage, but we've just been able to work through it together without making that an issue, so
It's beautiful.
that's all too. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Look, love is a function of communication, and there's always going to be a place where egos are going to get a chance to bump into each other. But if you two have the capacity, Kim, to be able to communicate with love, to communicate with dignity, to communicate with respect, you can get through anything. And if you have these tumultuous relationships where you're always fighting, as Kathy said, you really need to rethink, what is it that you want in life? Because if you're staying in that relationship, then you're committed to something else other than peace. And the message that I get from Spirit all the time is that life is meant to be joyful. And if you're in a relationship that's not joyful, what are you doing there? Your ego is trying to protect and defend something. Why are you there if you're not happy? It isn't meant to be torture,
Right. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be compatibility. These people who have this like on again, off again energy, and they're always breaking up, and then they have makeup, sex. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, this is not how we're supposed to be with each other. Okay.
Like
It's
Mexican
either,
soap opera, you know?
yeah, it's either that you're not getting it. You're not listening to your own intuition when your own intuition says, this is the wrong guy. This is the wrong person. You know, my energy is not in alignment with this person. And that's something that we have to listen to. We all have that inner voice, and we are all on our own path, our own destiny. And when we feel physically that something isn't right, guess what? It usually isn't,
Gotta
right?
pay attention. You have to- Listen, there's what our mind tells us that believes that the body is real and, you know, all this has significance. And then there's our spirit and our soul that communicate to us through our heart. And that's the inner wisdom. And you have to get to know the aspect of you that is guiding you through this entire journey of life. Look, there are no mistakes. We end up, you know, colliding with and relating to whoever we relate to. But there are points in our lives where our paths diverge because we've outgrown that person. They're not, you know, like it's like the caduceus, everything in the universe, even the, you know, the double helix of the DNA strands, everything is coming and going, ebbing and flowing, night and day, you know, the tides, everything has its time and its place. And there are times when it's time, and listen, it's not ignoble to divorce someone. It's not the end of the world if you leave a relationship. You know,
Yeah, you know, the Eight of Cups, for those of you that don't know tarot, the Eight of Cups is exactly what Lynn is talking about. I'm going to try to find it. Let me explain the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is, I could be perfectly happy with this person. I could be even content with this person, but my soul is saying to me that there's something else that's calling me. Okay, there's something else emotionally that I need to walk towards. In this card, it looks like he has his back to you, but that's not what's happening. He's actually walking forward. He's walking towards something else. So when people end relationships, and it doesn't have to be a tragic ending, it doesn't mean that my husband beat me to leave a relationship. Okay, it could mean that I have met this journey. I have already fulfilled my needs. I'm not getting anything else out of this relationship. And you'll hear people say things like, I feel empty, I feel lost, I'm alone all the time in a marriage. Those are things that their soul is kind of crying out and saying, it's time for me to move on. And it's a journey. Whoops. It's a journey. It's a journey. And that's what Lynn just said. It's our soul. Oh my, you know what? I love my cards. Look at this, Lynn. It's a journey because I've got a lover's card.
Lovers. Oh, gorgeous. I've got goosebumps. Listen, Alex raised
It was right on the top of my deck. It was like, boom.
Alex raised her hand. Let me get her question before we.
Absolutely.
Alex, did you have a question that you wanted to ask us?
Yes, I wanted to ask about and also proclaim, like, I feel like I'm getting ready for marriage, my first month. I already feel energetically the ring on my finger, but it's such a strange feeling because I feel that there is still so much to harmonize in my own being between the masculine and the feminine.
The greatest work we do in life is in relationships. So God bless your journey. There's always going to be more work to do. There's always going to be more growth to achieve. And when you're in a relationship, when you allow your heart to open up to a beloved to come in, you are going to be triggered like you've never been triggered before. But what happens is there's a field of love that's so great that it'll bring up everything that needs to be healed to the surface, because the little wound goes, oh my God, there's someone that loves me enough to help me heal this. And if it goes easily, that's the relationship to work in. But if they're struggling, they won't meet you, and, you guys are opposed, you have to really reconsider the relationship that you're in. But
I do want to add to that, because I get a lot of people that will say to me, I will look for new love or start a new relationship once I've healed. And I'm like, what does that mean? That doesn't mean, so they have this in their head that they have to heal first, and then they're going to have like this, miraculous day of life that they say, I'm now ready for a new relationship. When you're in the best way to heal is to be in another relationship. Okay, that is the number one way to heal and to move on with your life, is to step into another relationship and do the work in another relationship, because you will continue to grow, you will continue to heal, and you'll be active. You'll be active. So, I loved Alexandra's point where she was manifesting and she could feel the energy. So I loved that, because it was when we manifest, we need to manifest specifics. So I did love that. And I also loved that she understands that she has feminine and masculine energy within herself, and the balance within that in each of us is important too. So she's already ahead of the game. She knows way more than the average person. So she's doing great. And she's ready to bring this love into her life, is how I feel. So that's awesome.
So I want to thank you all for being with us today. Our time is up. The class that Kathy and I are going to be teaching together is going to be on the 24th of May. Priyanka, if you could drop a link in here, and then we'll also make sure one shows up on Facebook. And then this recording is going to go in a bunch of different groups. We're going to come live again next Wednesday and talk about this topic as well. So if there's anyone that you think would enjoy joining us for this, please send them our way. And I'm very, very excited. You guys are going to be in for quite a treat. We have a whole lot in store for you. Let's see. The cost of the program is $444. It's going to be a 2-hour program. It starts at 1 in the afternoon and goes till 3 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be recorded and it'll be sent out to all of you. There's going to be work that you're going to be given to do, because you can't hear something once and it goes in. It can be something you believe, but you have to really know something, and that requires an emotional component. And some of the work that you're going to have to do is going to be challenging work, but it's going to be worth it. So I thank you all for being here. Kathy, I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you. Nice to meet everybody.
Yeah,
everybody. Love it. Love and light. Love and light.
Love and light, everybody. And we will talk to you all really soon. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye.